Welcome to Life's Rich Tapestry, a podcast exploring the narrative of people's layered lives. Listen in on courageous conversations spoken from the heart. Gain insight into another's life as we tackle compelling topics which will expand your mind, help you gain perspective, and might even inspire you to do things differently. My name is Evelyn, and I look forward to your company. And welcome to another episode of Life's Rich Tapestry. In the fashion world, style is usually shorthand for personal style, or the way an individual expresses themselves through aesthetic choices such as their clothing, accessories, hairstyle, and the way they put an outfit together. As one goes through events in their lives, weight gain or loss, a new career, being a full-time mother, and ultimately we do get older, our style changes. Some of us are okay with our style changes. However, some of us need a bit of help. My next guest, Yolanda Taylor, also known as Yo, is the CEO and founder of At the Style Table, which is a fashion and lifestyle blog openly discussing the challenges of women over 50, helping them increase their confidence, acceptance, and everlasting sexiness. She offers style and image consulting for entrepreneurs and everyday women who want to update or transition their style through the aging process. Inspiring and supporting women is her daily mission. I'm so honored to have Yo. I'd like to welcome you to the show. Hey, that rhymes. Welcome to the show, Yo.
Thank you so much, Evelyn.
Yeah, I'm so honored to have you here today. I actually want to, if it's okay, I want to start at the beginning so that people just get a little bit of history. Where did you grow up, and what made you interested in style and clothing as a child?
Well, I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, actually, and I was a tomboy. And then about 15, I looked down and I had boobs and all these things were happening. And so I was a little less interested in doing tomboy-like things. And I happened to stumble on a magazine. I'll never forget it. It was an Ebony magazine. And in the back of Ebony magazine was their fashion fair section. And there were these beautiful women in these beautiful clothes. And all of a sudden, it was like a light bulb went off and I was transfixed. I just loved it. I'll never forget the lady in this dress, which really you could wear that right now. This was like in 1983, but that same dress can be worn right now. And it was a bright yellow dress. It was fabulous.
Wow. Must have been timeless, a timeless sort of creation. Did you actually look up to a model at that time, or was there an actress or maybe even your mother or cousin that you looked up to that gave you a bit of fashion advice, or was it all your own?
My mom was always a fashionista. She taught me that less is more. She always said to me, it's better to buy the $100 dress. It'll last you 10 years, and the $10 dress will last you 1 year or less. Mm-hmm. So she always, her mom was a maid. And so her mom would get clothes, hand-me-downs, but she would take those high quality items and she kept them clean and pressed. And then she also became a seamstress herself to make her own clothes. And so my mother, she was always shopping. Her nickname was Shop. So I was kind of baptized in that from the time I was little, but it was really just that moment when I decided I was transfixed in looking in and the world of fashion more deeply.
And it's interesting. So you're into the world of fashion and you become a flight attendant. And with being a flight attendant, you wear a uniform. So how do you stand out when everyone is wearing a uniform?
Well, I always made sure that my uniform fit, that it was always tailored to fit my body. I think that's important. And then also, I chose cuts that were not just trendy. I made sure that I chose a cut that would flatter my body. So even when it was tailored, I made sure that the tailoring was current, sophisticated, and that also made the difference as well.
Yes, I must admit, I remember you from the 90s and you were looking fantastic. We all were wearing the same uniforms, but you had it
Thank
going on.
you.
Yeah, you really did. And now I know your secret. You had, because I made sure that the uniform was big because I remember, getting that the belly, the air belly, and I wanted to make sure I didn't, that I was comfortable. You always looked amazing, and I've never forgotten that. And so I was so happy to see when you started this business. I said, "Oh my gosh, of course, this is what she is meant to be doing." Now,
Thank you.
yeah, no, you looked amazing. You did stand out. You did actually stand out a lot. Now, I know that as a flight attendant, there was a time period you were also a single mom. Did your style choices change then?
My style choices were pretty much the same. I had already established what my sense of style was, which most people do from the time they're early on. They usually kind of have their own sense of style. I did, but what I had to do was be very creative financially
Right,
because I
right.
didn't have a lot of money. I was raising a son, and people think, oh, you have girl, it's always going to cost more. I think you could get better deals on girls' clothes. Boys, the clothes were more expensive. And then my son wanted Jordans.
Right.
So sneakers. And so I had to be very creative. So when I got my gift cards and things like that, I would go on an intense shopping
Hmm.
experience for myself. And I could go to discount stores and really look because I was always reading the fashion magazines, keeping up to
Hmm.
date
Hmm.
what was current. So I could take pieces to make sure that I was current in the style. I made sure that the color worked for me. And of
Hmm.
course, the price. The price had to work. So always classic pieces that I could interchange that I always felt fabulous and current in. So that's where I kind of had a mastery for that.
When you think about style, how would you define that?
I think style is personal. I think everybody has a sense of style. When people say, I don't know what to do, I don't have any style. Yes, you do. You know what you like. You know, when you look at a celebrity and go, oh, I like that. And you always pick that celebrity. Why? Because that's your sense of style. Style is different than fashion. Fashion comes and goes, but style is forever.
Hmm.
That's your sense of style. You can do things to enhance and update that, but that's just something that's to you when you put your clothes on and you feel like pow, that's your style.
That's true. I always remembered you as being very confident, and probably because you had your style going on. In the style, how did that come up? How did you decide after years of flying? How did you decide, oh, hey, when I retire, maybe I'll do something else? Or did you start this when you were still flying?
I started this when I was still flying. I did things like I would barter my services to get things paid for. And so I did makeovers, and people were always asking me, how did you do this? Or how'd you put this together? And how did you put that together? And so I would help people that way. And so it was just kind of a natural thing. My best friend is a business coach, and actually my business coach now. And she said to me, she said, who is on the treadmill or the elliptical for an hour to 2 hours watching fashion shows? Nobody does that, yo.
Yeah.
She goes, that is your business. That you've been doing it anyway. Why don't you just get paid for all of the hours that you spend doing personal shopping, closet edits, and wardrobe edits? I'm not the closet judge. I'm the wardrobe. I'm there only to look at the clothes.
Yes, yes.
We all have messy closets. So, it's just kind of that way sometimes. But so I created a business in 2019. I said, let me go ahead and start. And I started out as a blogger.
Yes, yes, yes. And I did read one of your blogs about going shopping in your closet. And I thought, "Oh my God, that's such a great idea. I love that because you don't know what's in your closet, especially, I mean, you kind of forget after a while. And I think a lot of us had to go shopping in our closet when the lockdowns happened around the world just to see what we had. Your focus on women over 50, or is it anyone?
As I'm growing, as my business is growing and my brand is becoming more and more visible, I'm finding that I'm attracting women in between 30 and 39, as well as women over 50, because their careers are changing. The millennials are really doing big things in their careers. They're starting businesses. And with COVID, at first I thought COVID was going to shut me down. So I was like, oh gosh. And then I started learning how to do this virtually. And so now I'm attracting a younger audience, but mainly my audience are women who are 40 and over, because once you hit 40, 30, you start gaining weight and you're just like, oh, well, I had a baby. And in your 40s, you're just like, okay, why am I still working out and my belly's still there? Why is it happening? Why is it taking so long?
Yeah.
And then once you hit 50, you're like, oh, forget it. I'll just have the wine and cheese.
Yes.
And so you have to get into a point of acceptance. And that's where I am. I'm doing this just the same way everybody else is. I'm going through the same thing. So that's where I would say the 40s on up group is mainly my group.
Yeah.
But
I think as well, because I think like what you were saying, the 30s and 40s, these particular women in this age, they're still in their career and they still are wanting, to advance themselves. Whereas when you're in your 50s, we're kind of settling down a bit. So I think image changes are women in their 30s and 40s. Do you agree with that?
yes, I think women in their 30s and 40s, they're going through some body changes too, just because of childbirth and, having kids and just not having time. And women, as we become more and more in control, 70% of women globally control the household income. They're in more and more leadership roles. And so therefore, they don't have time. And so women in their 30s are in very high powered roles and they don't have time. And sometimes you get so busy because you're taking care of everybody else. And then you look in the mirror and you're just like, what happened?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I do think you go through that mom stage. I know I did, and it just didn't matter. Didn't matter what I looked like. And then, as you said, when you do get a little bit older, it just sort of change. You get into another sort of career and things change for you. You lose weight, gain weight, and that's what happens. But I do find myself being in my 50s is there's just an acceptance. It's like, okay, I accept the way I look and I'm just going to be comfortable or look sexy when I have to look sexy. I think you have more acceptance in your 50s. That's kind of what I was going at. But I wanted to ask, in your 50s, what are important wardrobe basics for someone over 50, what they should have in their wardrobe?
I love tunics.
Okay.
I love all kinds of tunic type tops, just because when you can wear them with leggings, you can wear them with crop pants, and they can be sexy because they can be really tailored. And there's so many different ways you can wear them. There's some tunics that are halter tunics. You can be sexy with them, but they grow up, they go up and down with your size.
Right.
So you can still wear it. Like if you lose 10 pounds, because women over 50, when you start going through menopause, the average weight gain and loss is like it's like 20 pounds up and down.
Yes. Yes.
Somewhere in between. So you can wear a tunic style dress, a top, or like kind of like an A-line cut dress.
Yep.
Right now, the caftans are that's everything right now. It's big and very popular, but you can wear, those are things that if you lose weight, they still look good. And if you gain weight, you can put them on and feel confident.
Okay.
and wearing them. So those
Okay.
are just some of the pieces that I wear, and I just kind of recommend.
What about color for women over 50? Do you recommend them getting their colors done or
Yeah, yeah, I would recommend getting your colors done because our tones can change, especially when we realize, the sun has not been kind to us and we need to stay out of the sun.
yep, yep.
So I would recommend getting your colors evaluated by a
Mhm.
stylist
Mhm.
because it really helps you save time when you're buying clothes. I remember the moment that I kept wearing all this gray,
Yeah.
and I was it was fine when I was in the sun a lot more, but now I don't stay in the sun. And then I go, oh my gosh,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
look washed out. So our
Yeah.
skin, how we treat our skin is much different as
Yeah.
we age as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's right. Do you remember when we had those gray flight attendant uniforms? They were
Um,
horrible. Oh my God, they were
Those
horrible.
were the ugliest
Ugliest thing.
things ever. But you know what?
Yeah.
I put I said it was like I what we used to call like the prison guard uniform. So we would take
They were
I
horrible.
took that little corny, awful
Mhm.
uniform and I still got it tailored.
Did you? Oh God. Oh,
I still had it tailored, even though it was just,
it was
oh,
hideous. It was hideous.
it
So
was,
now I'm so glad I learned your secret because you always looked good. You always looked good. So you tailored the flight attendant uniform. So I think that's actually important for people who are listening that if you are wearing a uniform, because some of those uniforms are not very kind to people, to get them tailored. I think that's such a great idea. Okay, now what about prints and patterns? Do you think that those are good for people who are over 50s, or is that something they should avoid?
oh no, I think you should wear prints and patterns, whatever your style is. If your
Yeah.
style is, I have women who they just want solids. I have women who just want constant prints. Now, the only print I would say, like sometimes, but not everything should be over 50 are flowers.
Oh,
Sometimes
that's
you get,
interesting.
it's like, okay, stop with the flowers. It just makes you look older. So flowers sometimes, a pretty flowered, maxi dress
Yeah, yeah,
or yeah, something, kind of Larry or a little bit roughly, not a lot of ruffles. You don't want to look like Shirley Temple, but you do want to tone down how often you wear flowers because it also translates to the people that you come in contact with old.
that's interesting. I love that. And it probably relates to gardening as well. And that's something people like when they're in their 50s and 60s. I think that's when people get interested into gardening. So flowers, interesting, very interesting. And now, as a woman ages as well, what about hair? Do you think? So some people say, oh, when you get to a certain age, you shouldn't have really long hair, or you should have it more bob, have a bob sort of hairstyle. What do you think about hair?
I say don't go for there's some, I don't know if you remember, but it seemed like when I was a flight attendant and because you're dealing with, we dealt with so many women, it seemed like at some point women would just go, okay, now I'm at this age. Let me go get this ugly haircut
Yeah, yeah,
and just roll with it. Where if you want to wear your hair long, I love to see older women, especially ones who don't color their hair and they have that beautiful salt and pepper long hair. That is
yeah,
so sexy.
yeah,
That is so hot.
yeah, yeah.
Wear and embrace your hair. Now, I must admit, as long as my mother's motto was as long as it comes in a bottle. But, I'm still coloring my hair right now. I think once I get to 65, I can see it coming through more
Yeah,
and
yeah,
not just in little spots. I think it looks great. Wear long hair. If you like long hair,
yeah.
enjoy your long hair. Just keep it trimmed and conditioned. because gray hair has like this attitude.
It does. It does. It sticks up all over the place, doesn't it? I know
Oh,
exactly what you
yeah.
mean. So, I mean, I color my hair too because I've got little straggly bits, so I have to make sure they're gone. But yes, I love that. I really love that. What about now? Okay, this is a big one for me. High heels. What do you think about that? Because the truth is, I can't wear high heels. I've tried, and it just doesn't work. So, it's hard to find styling flat shoes. So, what can you recommend with shoes and styling?
Well, first off, the number one thing, buy good shoes
Hmm.
because you don't want to end up in orthopedic, style, unattractive shoes sooner than you want to. So go ahead and make that investment in a great pair of classic shoes. There are a lot of good brands out there. There's a brand I've just come across called Inez, and she has heels that you can wear. And her whole thing is that they're comfortable. I walk into my closet and my feet go, oh no, not those heels. Go for the mules, go for the flats.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm at a place in my life that I don't want to wear anything higher than 2 inches.
Yep.
Now I will wear some shoes that are higher for certain events, but even then my feet say, did you pack the flats?
Yes,
I go,
yes,
yes.
yes.
I'm like, yes, ladies, I've got the flats. And so that's where I am. And I talk to a lot of women who are at that space. So I've been like slowly changing over.
Hmm.
But I have friends who are in their 50s, 60s, almost 70s, and they are ride or die with their high heels. Whatever
Mm.
your jam is, wherever you feel like, if you feel like you can walk in those and you feel comfortable in it, do it.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. Now, I've learned to master shopping for shoes that are lower heels that look good, because that's what I'm shopping for myself.
Yes, yes, yes. So actually, can you just spell out that person that you said has beautiful classic heels? Inez. How do you spell that, or what is the?
I believe it's Inez.
Okay,
Inez.
Inez.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, I saw the shoes are nice and they're classic and they look like beautiful shoes. They look like they're well made. But her specialties is that you wear heels, you can wear higher heels and they're going to be comfortable
Yeah, yeah.
and
That's
look
what I
good.
need. Comfort.
Yeah.
Definitely need comfort.
Comfort and modern. And they don't look like kind of like it's time to put the old lady kind of comfort shoes on.
Yeah, yeah. I hate
Yeah.
I hate those orthopedic looking shoes, but they are comfortable. I must admit.
They
Now
are.
they are, and I love Birkenstocks, and they're not very sexy, but I do like them. So, um,
Get something with sparklies on them.
yes, yes, definitely, definitely. Can I just ask, styling no nos?
Styling no-nos. Okay, one of the things I would suggest, because our weight goes up and down, when you lose weight or if you've lost a lot of weight, and if you are a size and then you just because you can get into that size technically doesn't mean you should buy it or wear it. You should probably wait until so everything fits smoothly. The seam should not be screaming for life.
Okay,
You know,
I love that. I love that.
yeah, you want your clothes to fit. You want your clothes to fit. So I think that is the biggest no is to make sure that you're just because you can get into it doesn't make it right. You want it to look you want to feel comfortable in it. If you're pulling and tugging and on this, I went to a fashion show and one of the little reporters at the fashion show, she was tugging on her skirt the whole time. I'm like,
Yeah.
how are you?
Yeah.
I was exhausted for her, but if she would have put the skirt on one size bigger, larger, it still would have looked really good. It still would have been sexy and it still would have been flattering. And she wouldn't have been going through all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And make sure if you wear a Spanx, make sure that your undergarments, make sure that your bra and your Spanx are going to meet to where you don't have
That roll, that little bit of
that
a
roll
roll.
in between.
Yes.
That roll in between. I've experienced it.
I know it's not pretty. I know I have too. It isn't pretty at all. Now, I'd like to ask about makeup. What do you think is a styling makeup no-no or a styling makeup thing as we grow older, what we should be doing?
Oh gosh. Now makeup is not, I usually send people to makeup artists.
Yes, yes, yes.
I do send people to makeup artists, to be honest with you. My only thing is just I would wear less
Yes,
makeup
definitely.
because when you
Definitely.
have I have like lines in the corners of my eyes.
Hmm.
And so I have to be really careful with concealers. You have to make sure that the brand that you're using is really good for your face, and lighter makeup. I
Hmm.
guess not so heavy, because sometimes heavy makeup. I had a makeup artist put heavy makeup on me because I do my show, and by the time she got done with me, I was like,
You didn't look
"Who
like
is that
yourself.
woman?" Yeah, I didn't even recognize myself, and I looked older, and
Yeah.
I I look like Auntie Mame.
So with your business in the style table, what are other things that you do besides your blog, coaching, or consulting other women on their style? What are other things you do for your business?
I have a show called At the Style Table, and that show is on streaming on YouTube, and it's At the Style Table LLC. And so what I do is I'm talking to women who are transitioning. Most of the women have businesses, and I talk to them about their individual style. And we talk about stories about how style affects them. They might have a story of how their style and dressing up leveled their business. They may have gotten a career advance because they looked a certain way, or some women are in the business that how a person shows up in front of them can determine whether or not they get a job, because they're in that power position and some
Yeah.
of the things they're looking for. So we have all different types of women, in terms of, when I talk about types, I mean all different backgrounds and careers, and whether it's their business or whether it's their job, they're all transitioning in some way, or some form or fashion. And the conversation is a lot about post-pandemic style.
Right. That's interesting. Post-pandemic style. What is post-pandemic style?
That's what we're all trying to figure
Oh,
out.
okay. Sorry. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
listen, we're all trying to figure that out, because everybody, we all sat here in our houses for 2 years,
Yeah.
having endless boxes come to our home as we're sitting there in our sweats.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So you have to think, you're in front of the Zoom camera, and now everything's opening up.
Yes.
What is my style? Do I have to wear that suit when I do that presentation? Or can I just rock it out with like blue hair and cowboy boots? And I mean, everybody has their own different take on what they're going to do. People have different opinions as to, should we go back to the way things were, or should we push that envelope? So
Yeah.
those are the conversations that I'm having, which are so interesting.
Yeah, I did. I watched, I think, two or three last night, and I think they're amazing because we are kind of questioning what do we wear now? How do we act even? So yeah, they are interesting, and it is interesting because you learn by observing other people, and you think, oh, that kind of hit me the right way. I think I'm going to work on that style. So, yeah, I'm glad you're doing that show. I think it's very exciting. I'm going to put all of this information in the show notes of the podcast so people can reach out to you as well. Now, I know that you are in America because I'm actually in Australia. So, but you are in near Washington D.C. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so so when you have these styling sort of events, a lot of them are in that area. Is that correct? Or are you
Yes.
okay? So
I do it virtually though. Many times I do everything. Right now I'm doing everything virtually, but
virtually,
the events
okay.
will start. The events will start back up this
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
starting this summer. Yeah.
Okay, great. Can I just ask, how does that work virtually, though? How would that work virtually? I mean, I guess you could have a conversation with them via Zoom, but
Exactly.
would they bring the camera into their closet?
They can. It just depends on where I meet them where they are.
Okay, okay,
So
no worries.
if their
Okay,
closet, yeah, I think some women actually like the fact that, okay, my closet's a hot mess. I don't need you to see it. They bring the clothes to wherever they are, and then we decide if it's something they should keep or if they should let go. And I have them, they can try things on and I can look at them close up because they can walk closer to the camera.
yes, yes, yes.
And so it's actually, I kind of actually
Wow.
like it. So, and I think they like it because they can be more relaxed
Right, right,
with
right.
me coming from that angle. But I am willing to travel to work with people as well if they
Yeah,
want me in person. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm on a book tour right now with a client.
I love your motto. I help busy women style for success. How did you come up with that motto?
Well, it's basically grab and go style. I want you to be able to walk in the closet, not go, oh, I have nothing to wear. I want you to walk in the closet and be able to grab something, put it on, and know that you're going to look good. I want everything in your closet. Everything's in there where you know that you can grab it, put it on, grab and go style. You can put it on and look good and get out the door because you are busy. You
Mm.
are busy. You have times when you are out and you're doing events and you get back, it's 9 or 10 o'clock. And then you go, oh my gosh, I've got a flight that leaves at like 6 or 7 in the morning. You're looking at your suitcase is looking going, I don't know. And so, so wouldn't it be great to have, I create lookbooks just so you can just go to that lookbook and go, oh, okay, this is what I should pack. Everything down to like the Spanx. So you have everything in your suitcase. You know what you can put in your suitcase and keep it moving. It's all about keeping it moving, keeping the
Yeah.
progress
Because-
and self-care.
Exactly.
It's a big part of self-care because women and busy career women, we're doing so much anyway, and we're already paying for services to help reclaim your time. That's what I'm doing. I want to help you reclaim your time so you have more time with your family, more time to work on your business.
Mhm.
And when you come in from an event, you're tired and maybe you just want to sit and have a glass of wine with your husband. Now you don't have to stress out about spending all this time trying to figure out what to put in your suitcase. You already have access to what you should put in your suitcase.
Yeah, yeah. How important are undergarments, like underwear, bras, and all that? How important are those?
Those are very important because it changes the look in your dress. And you want to make sure, especially your bra measurements, you want to get that right because it's so easy to get the
Yeah, no, I
third
know.
boob.
Yeah, yes,
You know.
exactly. I know exactly. I definitely. I finally got my, my measurements and the correct bra, and I couldn't believe how I looked. I looked so much better. It was amazing,
Mhm.
and it was a lot. The size was a lot larger than I hoped for, but I was wearing the wrong cup size for so many years, and I
Mhm.
looked bad. I looked really bad. So that's important too, to go and get a proper bra measurement and
Mhm.
have, and also those underwear lines. You got to work with those underwear lines or not wear underwear. Or how do you get rid of underwear lines? Sorry, this is a very personal question, but how does that work? Because I know that's a problem of mine.
Well, there are some like the body shapers that smooth everything out, and there's no lines, or those like the shorts, or you can wear a thong.
Mm,
There's nothing
yeah.
wrong with it. It's there. Spanx even have they speak there's Spanx thongs. There's okay.
Oh my
So you
goodness.
can
Yeah.
do it if you want to cut out those lines. But a lot of the lines too, it's making sure that whatever you're putting on, the dress fits properly.
That's right.
If it's
That's
too
right. It can't
tight,
be too tight. That's right. Yeah.
it can't be too tight. It's, and I'm not saying don't wear, fitted, sexy clothes. Fitted and too tight, there's a fine line between that.
What are your next events coming up?
So right now, I'm on a book tour. I just decided to also be a part of this book called Women Who Boss Up. And so I'm going on tour. That book will come out in December, I think. And I'm a part of this group of women who are involved in this book. So that's exciting. I will be hopefully hosting some events now that it's warming up at my home. I'd like to have events, I call them sip, swap, and shop parties. So I can help people figure out how to orchestrate those so they can get the most bang for their buck out of their closet and help their friends sell clothes. And it's a fun event. Also, just trying to get all of these shows out. I have so many interviews and I'm trying to get these shows out on my YouTube channel so people can watch them and get something out of them, and also meet some women who have great businesses and have opportunities that they can share with other people, that people can actually get some information from them as well. Mm-hmm. So that my goal is to be of service to others. I want to be a champion for women. I want to support other women in their businesses because I feel like my business will be blessed as long as I'm sharing and being of service to others. I'm all about my legacy at this point. I'm 56. I have a great life. I have 4 grandkids, 1 on the way. So I have a beautiful life.
Oh, that's fantastic. It is about your legacy, isn't it? When you get in your 50s, that's kind of what this show is about for me as well. It's a bit of a legacy for people who share their stories on Life's Rich Tapestry, what they're going through, and just the legacy of my life as well, and the shared stories. It's just been such a pleasure having you on the show today. And I'm going to put all the show notes down of how people can contact you, your YouTube channel, your Facebook group and all that. Can everyone join your Facebook group, or how does that work? It's probably a private group.
With that, all you have to do is please go on at the Style Table LLC on Facebook, like my page.
Yes.
Or follow my page, please. And then you can join the Style Closets Dividends group. And that page is just for women to share their styles. It's a non-soliciting group. You just come on and you can post your looks and have everybody cheers everybody on when they do that. So it's just a good way to feel good about yourself. You can reach me on at the Style Table at Instagram and LinkedIn.
Yes, I'll add all those onto the show notes, and people will be able to check that out, because I do feel that all this is information that you're sharing, that you're serving others to help everybody look better and get a better sense of their style. It's been such a pleasure, Yo, to have you here. Was there anything else you wanted to say before we end this interview?
One other thing, please subscribe to my channel at the Style Table LLC on YouTube. Thank you.
Okay.
And I'm going to put that, Evelyn, I'm going to get you on my show.
Okay. Oh no, that'll be great. That'll be great. Okay. Thank you so much for your company. Please tune in next week to Life's Rich Tapestry, where you will hear another courageous conversation spoken from the heart.